supernatural or on-screen, off-screen?
Yeah, easily the last day. So the scene that Ezekiel, Gadriel, one of those guys. When Jared kills me, that was really hard. We had a prosthetic over my eyes. I didn't know I was going to come back at the time, and it was, I'd gotten so comfortable with everyone, and it was, for a set that's usually really joking and loud, it was quiet. It was somber. Everyone kind of knew it was my last day, and I couldn't see for the last 3 hours. So I was, walking in the dark for 3 hours, and then I lay down. Everyone's whispering, and the only thing I could really hear was Jensen saying, "Kevin, Kevin," for the last 3 hours. And then I went off stage, took my makeup off, and I couldn't bring myself to go. I already said bye to everyone, throughout the day, and so I couldn't bring myself to go in and do that again. So I just, slunk off. It was a tough day for sure. Yeah, and it's sad. When you're part of a show that means this much for so long, just saying goodbye is really hard. But it's this show, so it's always a see you later, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering, since the way to the top is really difficult to go through, if you had any really embarrassing moment or a really depressing period, like when you said, "That's it, I'm not going to do anything anymore."
One time, and I learned my lesson from it. I was a huge gamer, like addicted. I played World of Warcraft for 2 years straight. Yeah, it's amazing at how unproductive I was. I literally spent all my time in my girlfriend's basement, my first girlfriend. I had money in the bank. I had zero expenses. I had no phone, no nothing. I spent $300 that year because I went on a trip to Calgary with some friends, and that cost me $300. Right? I was going to school. I was enrolled in school, but I didn't really go because I was just playing. I really had no motivation to do anything, and I was happy, and that was the scary part. I was so happy, and near the end of that, I just looked at my life, and I guess somehow I was smart enough to look down the line and say, "Osric, if you're still here in 5 years, like, sure, you might be happy, but are you going to be proud of yourself?" And the answer was no, right? Then I needed to change, and for some reason I knew that I couldn't change because I was too lazy, and so I ended up breaking up with my girlfriend. We've been together for 5 years, amazing girl, and the only problem that she had was that she loved me too much to tell me no. And it was the hardest thing I ever had to do, and I went through like 9 months of like real depression, and she found another guy, and he was great. We're still together to this day, and it was such a tough time, and I just wanted to curl up and wait for it to end. And then maybe like 2-3 months in of doing that, I'm like, this is why you did it. And then I just started kicking my ass again, and I went back into training. So I latched onto martial arts. That became my new obsession, and I ended up going to China. I trained 8 hours a day, every single day. I made the Canadian national team for that. And then because my agents found out how good I was at that, I got my first acting job, and they hired me because I could do my own stunts. And everything kicked off, but even when I thought I was at the lowest point of my life, that really taught me a big lesson that the best is to come after the worst, right? And so that's why there's always a brighter side of things. Even if I'm going through the worst trip in the world, I'm like, well, at least this is going to make the next one seem really good. There's always a brighter side of things. So yes, I think everyone goes through a depression of some sort. Life is all about the positives and the negatives. Light would not exist without dark. Everything has the plus and minus, so you have to focus on the positives for sure.
Your last question.
Yes.
Well, as we know,
on set and off set. My question is, do you have a favorite prank that they pulled on you?
So none of them are favorites.
Only one.
No, they're all terrible.
Your favorite, the funniest.
Okay. So I think the first one they pulled on me was season 8. Beginning of season 8, we're doing this last scene of the day, and I was ready to catch my flight to LA. Jared was also ready to catch his flight to LA. He was going to see his baby. And so, everyone's just trying to get this done. We've almost finished the scene. We just have one more shot left. It's on me. I'm talking to Jensen. And Sam's just in. We kind of see him, but he doesn't really say anything, which is a bad setup because Jared gets bored. And that's when he starts doing things. So there's a table between us. We're talking. We're outside. And Jared, we're doing the scene, and halfway done, we're almost done. Jared just starts to stroke my legs with his foot. And I'm really ticklish. As soon as he touched me, it was just
And he knew that?
Well, he found out really quickly. I was just jumped, and then I'm sorry, I'm really ticklish. And as soon as I said that, you can hear the entire crew just groan. They're yeah. Because they knew that asshole was not going to stop, and he did not. So we go through take after take. It's one more shot. And every time he's just rubbing it into my crotch and just he's just doing everything he can, and I just can't hold it together. We do it must have been 10 takes at least. Well, it's I started holding him down, and then as soon as he stopped finally, Jensen would start up because they're a tandem and they can't. It was just back and forth, and by the end of it, I was doing the scene, and I had both of my legs on top of their legs, holding it down, and I was just trying to do the scene super straight with them. Okay, yeah, I kept my arm with the line, but I was just doing the scene with Jensen, and Jared's just there, trying not to laugh. I'm just stomping his feet down, and.
Did you manage to cut it right?
No, yeah, we got it, but it was it took over 30 minutes. For a shot that was supposed to take 30 seconds. Yeah, I don't know if any prank with them is really that favorite worthy. They're all oh my god, really? You guys spend so much time doing this? the pranks on them are more fun. But I guess that doesn't happen very often. And you know what? That's probably why everyone was cheering when I dislocated his arm.
Revenge.
I wish I was able to enjoy it more, but I felt so bad. But yeah, everyone was really happy about it. Misha was the happiest. Because Misha gets the worst. He has all the prank stories because they just like to pick on him every given opportunity. So Jared was on the floor and he's deathly pale and crying. Misha's bro. He was the only one that I understood, but yeah. Thankfully, I was very open about I'm just here to get the job done, and I just try to be a professional. Because on that set, they already schedule an hour of time wasting every day. And I just couldn't add to that, especially when we're all there, Misha, Mark, everyone's doing something, so being 5, it was just too much. And so, most of the time it is fun, but you see some of the crew and they just want to go home, so I'm okay, I won't be that guy. So I try not to. Don't always succeed though.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright. So, that was the last question. Yes, I have. Well, didn't we have a nice time, right? Yeah!
I did. I'm really excited to see the rest of the con.
He's bluffing. He loved it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, thanks.
Well, we're going to see everyone the rest of the weekend, right? Randomly?
Yeah.
I still have a lot of the con to wander, and I haven't seen an artist alley yet. I only saw a bit of the gaming section.
Yeah.
There's a foosball area. Anyone play foosball? Alright, maybe I'll see you there.
Alright. It was a pleasure, right?
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for having me. Take care. I'm going to convention.
All right, and soon we have the